Hey everybody, this is Bridgette Raes and I'm back with another stylish tip for you this week. So this month in September, actually last week, I celebrated my 12th year in business. I started Bridgette Raes Style Group 12 years ago this month. I have made over and styled more women than I can keep track of at this point. It's been a long, amazing career thus far. And to celebrate that, one of the things I want to do is share some universal truths that I've learned about women in fashion. As you can imagine, I have worked with so many women that the thing that I've noticed is that there's a lot of things that women share that I don't think they realize they do about fashion, and a lot of myths that we believe and things that we think we're the only ones who suffer with them, how, it's just me, there's something wrong. So I'm here under good authority to tell you that if you can relate to any of these 12 universal fashion truths that I'm about to share with you, you're not alone, you're actually the norm. So the first one, I'm going to get right into them because there's 12. So the first universal fashion truth is that if a woman thinks she needs a makeover, she isn't as bad as she thinks she is. This is what I've learned over the years. Women who are actually conscientious enough to think they need help are not that bad. Yes, they may need a few tweaks. They could use a little bit of some fine tuning, but trust me when I tell you, most fashion nightmares are too smug or too clueless to know that they need help. Usually most of them walk around with their head in the sand. So if you're someone who's watching this video, who reads fashion blogs, who pays attention, who actually cares about what they look like every day and wants to do better, you're not a fashion nightmare. Most women who seek help aren't that bad. Okay, universal fashion truth number 2. If you hate shopping, you're not alone. So I get a lot of women who call me and I think they believe that I think I'm going to revoke their woman card if they tell me, I don't like shopping. They assume that they believe all these myths and they assume that if they're a woman, then they should like it. The truth is most women don't. Most women find it very frustrating, time-consuming. The dressing room's a pain. They walk out with nothing. They don't know what to do. They're overwhelmed. They're dissatisfied. I find typically, and this isn't 100% of the time, that if a woman really loves shopping, there's usually probably more of a problem than there is that they're really effective. So usually they have some kind of a shopping addiction. Shopping's a hobby for them. They're not exactly good at it. So if you're struggling with shopping and you don't enjoy it, you're normal. Okay. Universal fashion truth number 3. Most women struggle with getting dressed. So you have that coworker, that friend who always looks good. She's the exception, not the norm. Okay, so most women will tell me that getting dressed in the morning is an enormous pain. So if you're someone who stares at the closet, has a closet full of clothes and nothing to wear, gets dressed and redressed multiple times, panics when they have to get dressed for something, you are normal. So if you think this is just you and that you missed some sort of class that, all women were supposed to take, you weren't sick that day, you're normal. Next universal fashion truth. Women hone in too closely on their body flaws. Okay, every woman has a part of their body they would trade in a heartbeat. I have them. Kathleen, I know, has them. We all have them. We have things that we don't like about our bodies. We wish we could trade. At some point, we accept that they're not going away. But I think women obsess too much about these body issues. And here's the thing. If we're all obsessing about our body issues, worried about what the other person thinks, I can assure you that person isn't spending their time and energy worrying about yours. They're too worried about what you think of theirs. So yes, I think it's great if you can choose the right clothing for your body issues, dress them the best way you can, but don't worry so much. No one's snickering. We become very body narcissistic. Like we think, oh my God, everyone's looking at my butt. Nobody's looking at your butt. They're worried about what you think of their butt. All right. So women, that is a universal fashion truth that I've learned. I think we get a little too obsessive. Next one, most women don't care about trends. I have learned this over the years. Most women, sure, they want to make sure they're wearing things that are current. They want to feel up to date, but just about every woman who calls me says, I really don't care what the trends are. I just want to I just want to feel good in what I'm wearing. So if you're someone who really can't be bothered, who doesn't pick up fashion magazines, who isn't obsessed about Fashion Week, you're the norm, not the exception. So don't feel this pressure that you have to like become obsessed with it. There are plenty of people in the world whose job it is to figure it out. You have better things to do. So if you're not a big trend, slave, you're normal. Okay. Most women know more than they think about their style, than they do about their style. This is another universal fashion truth that I've learned. I think that if more women were confident about their choices and felt that they were making the right ones, I think that I'd be out of business. I find that a lot of women are very clear on what their style is. They just don't trust it, or they have me into their closet to clean it out. And they know usually what is and isn't the right thing. So I think that if women were a little bit more trusting of their instincts, they would know what their style is. So I actually think you know more than you do. And I think most women know more than they do. And they certainly know their style better than they think they do. Okay, the next universal fashion truth. Most women don't have wardrobe issues. They have accessorizing issues. I can't tell you how many times I've met clients where I look at their wardrobe, I look at how they're getting dressed. It's not usually a fashion issue that they're struggling with. They're struggling with an accessorizing issue. It's that last component of an outfit that most women struggle with. So for the most part, most of us know how to wear a pair of pants and a sweater, or most of us know how to put on a dress. Most of us know how to choose somewhat flattering clothing. Where we struggle is adding the personality at the end. And if women would focus a little bit more time on how to finish their outfits, they might realize that they don't have a clothing issue, they have an accessorizing issue. The next universal fashion truth: comfort trumps all. We see these women walking around in 4-inch stilettos. We think, oh my gosh, I just can never be fashionable because I don't want to be uncomfortable. Yes, we all occasionally have to wear things that aren't comfortable, but I will tell you this: every woman wants to be comfortable at the end of the day. And I can also assure you that that woman teetering around in 4-inch stilettos is going home and putting on her slippers and unbuttoning her pants and putting on something with an elastic waist. Comfort is king. So again, if comfort is something you're striving for, don't think that fashion is excluding you. And there certainly is a way to be comfortable, but don't think everyone else is willing to sacrifice comfort and you're the only one in the world who isn't. So the next universal fashion truth that I've learned is fashion isn't a priority, but feeling good is. So this is another universal fashion truth that I have found. Again, it goes back to the trend truth, which is when a woman isn't necessarily looking for fashion, she's not looking for the hottest trends, she's not necessarily clothes obsessed, she's feeling good obsessed. And what a woman really wants at the end of the day is to feel good in what she's wearing so she can feel good about herself and live and feel confident in her life. So I really think that feeling good is definitely more important to a lot of women than fashion is. And what really fashion has become and is for them is the tool they use to feel really good about who they are. So if you're not fashion obsessed, just like you're not trend obsessed, don't worry about it. You should focus more on feeling good about yourself obsessed. The next universal fashion truth is that most women know what colors look good on them. 99.99% of the time, women choose well. Rare is it that women don't have clothing in their closet that flatters them. Sometimes they may make a mistake or two, but for the most part, women know when a color looks good and doesn't look good. So if you're obsessing about what season you are, if you're obsessing about the right colors for you, trust me when I tell you, when you put clothing on and it doesn't really, and it flatters you or it doesn't flatter you, you're seeing it right. So sure, a little advice, a little guidance might be helpful, but I would say that most times the colors that women are choosing for themselves are the colors that definitely look best on them. The second to last universal fashion truth is when a woman looks good, she has no idea why. There's a saying that I always like to say, which is even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. And I find that women are, the most consistent thing about women getting dressed is that they're consistently inconsistent. And a lot of times what happens is, just like fashion mistakes are made, when women get it right, they unfortunately don't know why they're getting it right. So it's difficult for them to repeat successes. So it's not only important to learn what the fashion no's are for you, but what the fashion yeses are for you, and learning how to apply those regularly, and learning how to make an informed choice. So if you see that person who's getting her outfit right and you're thinking, what does she know that I don't know? She probably doesn't know a lot more than you. She just happened to get it right that day. So don't worry so much. You're not in the dark. You're not alone. Most women, when they get it right, have no idea what they did right to get it right in the first place. And the last universal fashion truth that I'm going to share with you is fashion slumps happen to us all, even me. It's no different than when we get bored with anything. I'm someone who eats the same thing for breakfast until I can't stand it any longer. I'm like, I can't put it in my mouth one day more. If you're someone who's in a fashion slump, it's normal. And you're not missing something, you're not missing out, you're not misinformed. It just happens, and it's time to shake things up a bit. I was in a car with a colleague of mine once, and I turned to her, and she's a professional and I'm a professional, and I said, oh my God, I feel like I need a makeover. Me. So we all get repetitive. We all fall into slumps where we do the same thing over and over again because it works. If you're in a fashion slump, it just means you need to change something. It doesn't mean anything more than that. Just like you'll change up your workout routine after being on the treadmill every day. So it just means you need a little change. It doesn't mean all is lost. So those are my 12 universal fashion truths for you, one for each year that I have been in business. I am looking forward to another 12 and maybe even more. And to all of you who have followed me recently or for the past 12 years, I want to thank you for reading my blogs, for being a client, for being a fan, for being someone who's participated with me on this journey. And of course, special thanks to my intern, Kathleen, who has been with me this summer, who has been such a blessing and a great addition to what I do. And if you have any questions about these universal fashion truths or anything else that you would like me to answer via video, I'd be happy to. You can find me on my website, BridgetteRaes.com, on Facebook, Facebook.com/Bridgette Raes Style Expert, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. It's always at Bridgette Raes. Have a great week. I'll see you next week.